I was in the audience and I was on the edge of my seat. Hello, 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 as everybody's loading in. Welcome to session 11 of State of Anarchy, a homebrew D&D game that we come here every week to play, hopefully entertain you. Otherwise, what are you doing here? How was everyone's week? I hope everyone's doing well. Anyone got any announcements or anything that they would like to make, or anything that they'd like to share with the class?
I won't be here next week.
That's exciting.
What the
fuck?
fuck?
I mean, I'm excited because I know
what
why
the
you're not going
hell?
to be here next week, but...
Wow, okay.
Well, I'm okay.
I might know why.
I won't be excited by your good news that you're, getting stable living conditions.
Wow, that's messed up, Tegan, not supporting your friends.
Can you just give us his address real quick?
How
And,
am I
security
not
system
how
number?
am I not supporting you? Gee.
Are you paying his rent?
There.
Yeah, you pay my rent.
Real friends pay friends rent.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, I'm not
That's
paying.
true.
I'm not paying his rent, but I am taking suggestions to
Dog
anyone,
mate 101.
to any Australians out there who would like to send I'm Rosewood an
With
Australian snack food care package. Let me know what you think we should put in there, because
I do
just-
count money as a snack food.
our money is not a snack food. Also, our money is made of plastic. We don't want to kill any sea turtles here.
Yeah. Well, we'll send you
Reggie makes
Australian. We'll send you money, but we'll send you Australian money. So
Oh,
yeah,
is that,
so
what's
it's
that
actually got
lime
value.
milkshake called?
A lime milkshake.
lime milkshake.
Yeah,
It's just a lime milkshake.
but that's Australian, right? I've never seen that anywhere else.
That sounds fucking horrible.
No lime flavour. What do you mean it's horrible, Uzu? Did you never go to a public
What
pool
do
as a
you mean?
kid?
It's fucking sick.
Nah.
No, I had my own pool. My white privilege is showing. But also, citrus and milk.
Yeah.
It's really
I'm
tasty.
sorry, Uzu. Do you not like Splice ice creams?
No, I don't. Yuck.
They're literally pine lime. That's the flavour of a Splice.
That's great. I don't eat them.
Which
Yuck.
which a
Also,
Splice,
we
which for
established
you
at the beginning of
Rosewood, a
discussion
Splice is
made
kind of a
that-
pine lime creamsicle. If you wanted an idea of what that is. So.
Yeah, we also established at the beginning of this discussion that Rosewood eats his cereal without milk because he doesn't like milk in the first place. So
We love.
Oh, okay. Well, then yes.
Let's point out we do love.
Yellow milk. That's crazy.
Well, is it because it's a textural thing and you don't like it going soggy?
I just don't like milk.
So you've, like even proper milk. even full
Uzu, you're
fat,
on your
like
own
milk,
here.
milk.
Don't
Not, like,
DM me
weird.
with citrus and milk. What the fuck? Don't message me in my
Yeah,
DMs
you're
trying
kind
to get back up.
You're
Don't
kind of on
call
your
me
own
out.
with
I'm
this one.
sliding in.
You're on your own with this one. That
Do you
being,
like ice cream, Rosewood?
I believe we've had a bit of
Only
this.
vanilla.
I believe we've had a bit of this discussion that Rosewood is more of a savoury snack kind of person, not a sweet snack. Does not like chocolate either, but if you don't like milk, then that would make sense.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Chocolate's not my favourite. Yeah.
Nature's milk.
yeah, but May, we
Still
have...
creepy. Doesn't matter how many times you say it.
you would understand this, May. We have better chocolate than America. So,
Yeah.
in general...
That is true. I used to like chocolate when I was a kid, but then I went off it, and now I'm more of a savoury person. But ice cream is the exception. I love ice cream.
I can understand
So
that.
I think I misclicked something while I was adjusting your volume. So whatever it is, ignore it.
All right. So, with much further ado, if you like what we do here, please hit the follow and the subscribe. If you miss the sessions, you can catch them on my YouTube channel of the same name. Otherwise, if you just want to see some of the other stuff that other people are creating, I believe that Uzumeka streams or is trying to maintain a regular stream. You've been doing Apex Legends, a bit of Overwatch, some Pokemon fusions over there, I believe, or you were attempting to get Pokemon fusions up and going, correct?
Nah. We just play Pokemon because I'm too dumb for fusions.
Okay. Valcor blips occasionally. Tide Runner, I believe you're on a hiatus at the moment, are you not?
Yep.
Yep, because computers. Woo! And obviously our missing player Tyrant Dungeon does also stream, so you can catch them over on their stream as well. Otherwise, who wants to recap everybody what happened last week? For those who weren't able to catch it, I believe we were down, I say I believe like I don't know, we were down Sebastian last week, but he managed to drive the car expertly to the camping ground that evening. And
Blake shed a single tear because he was so proud of the job he'd done.
Exactly.
It was a good job.
Sebastian,
you had a great teacher.
But we do have Sebastian back this week, so welcome back, Zegent. We missed you. So yes.
Hi.
Hi. So, what happened last week for everybody
Hey,
else?
how are you?
Yes. So,
There was some driving, some PTSD flashbacks, some arguing, and we found some berries. And then we followed some moths.
no, I believe Crisis and Breeze followed some moths. Two of you
I
were
believe it
wondering.
was me and Breeze.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
We're
right.
intentionally splitting the party. Of
I will
course we're
I'm
following the
You know
pretty
moths.
what?
sure it was literally
You know what?
everybody at the camp that was following the moths, except for Hasa.
No, they are correct. It was Blake and Breeze. Crisis was still over by the little spring he went to. I will apologise. I do occasionally get the character names messed around. So, yes, it will happen.
Like a good parent does.
Like any good parent. You're all my favourites. So,
Wrong.
Which means there is a favorite.
There's always a favorite.
I'm the
Your mother has been lying to you for 20 years. There's been a favorite this entire time.
I know. Yeah, my mum's favorite is definitely my sister.
Bold of you to assume she lied to me about that.
she was straight up.
that's why you become a grandparent.
Anyway,
isn't
skipping
it,
over the
Rick Ray?
trauma.
Anyway,
Yeah.
anyway. No, it's only worse if you're an only child and you're still not your parents' favourite. Anyway.
Now I feel called
Nah,
out.
your friend is your parents' favorite.
Honestly, you say that. I was my friend's favorite child. Like, friend's parents' favorite child. They did not like their daughter at all. They fucking loved me.
Zephyr, having met Tide Runner's family, I completely believe that.
Rough. I'll not stand for this James slander. Thank you very much.
So, last week, I believe we were following some moths. Crisis is being traumatized. I believe we did gloss over the fact
Don't
that
show the moths. Don't show the moths.
But they look more like rosy maples, right?
they are very lovely, fuzzy little moths. Yes, maple moths. Earlier in the day, I believe that Crisis was triggered into having a PTSD flashback by the flashing wings of some golden birds, which led to him falling off of the roof of the vehicle, which led to an argument between Breeze and Hasa over why didn't you help? Because we all have a job to do and I'm a weak-ass bitch. Was that the gist of it?
Sure, let's go with that.
Yes, bitch with weak ass arguments.
So, of course, they are arguing. They got to the campground. Crisis went to scream into a pool of water, which Blake, with his very perceptive hearing, did go to investigate, only to watch from the shadows to realize that Crisis is creepy as hell. He is clearly being followed by something. But not only that, as Blake went to creep away and go back to the campsite, he heard some rather sinister laughing of a young man. That
This
came
is
to
what
his
Rosewood's
ears.
farts sound like.
So, then as
God,
Blake,
not one laugh.
then Blake and Breeze, I believe, were attempting to get Rick to come out of his shell and tell a few ghost stories while Hasa was wandering around in the forest, having a competition, a silent competition where it had not been, well, I think it was being telekinetically communicated between Blake and Hasa ratting Breeze out as a princess to Blake through his communicative earring that I believe he has. But they were attempting to scare Breeze, in which it seemed that the wildlife of the area one-upped them. And out of the bushes, trees, came a stream of glowing lunar moths that seemed to communicate with Breeze that she should follow them. And so, as we join back in, Breeze and Blake started following the line of fuzzy glowing moths down a pathway into the darkening forest. Sound about right?
Because this could only be a good idea. Yes.
Yes, this seemed like a brilliant idea, and Breeze was looking for any reason for Blake to not pay attention to the fact that she is a princess. So, it's great. It's fine. It's all good.
Hasa is also basically a prince, so whatever.
No one's told me that yet. Don't spoil my surprise.
Well, yes, I think this did lead to a few discussions out of character that Sebastian, Breeze, and Hasa have all lived reasonably privileged lives within their communities. So,
Oh, don't drag me into this.
you were. Blake, they had found out Blake was kicked out. Well, he wasn't kicked out. He was asked politely to leave before they did banish him from his town. And I believe Rick didn't really want to talk about it. Sound about right?
Rick never wants to chat to me.
Rick is in a constant state of perpetual alcoholism, I believe, at this point. And I think it's getting worse by spending time with you.
That conjoined with the crippling senilation he's dealing with.
I mean, he is the oldest member of the
Old,
party,
senile,
comparatively.
loopy.
But anyway,
Well, age-wise, but
age-wise, yes. For those people who don't know, Rick is technically the youngest and the oldest of the party.
That would be telling.
Well, you all have different age, longevity of lives because of all your different races. So, however, Blake, Breeze, you head off northwards following the moths. They do seem to be flapping slower. Now, they are roughly 10 feet in wingspan. So they are indeed very, very large moths. They let off a faint glow under the moonlight. But they do seem to be fluttering slower as a way to allow you to be following them, to keep up with them. Does anyone else follow them, or are you... Or Hasa, you get back and there's no one in the camp left. Where did everybody go?
Are you guys
No, he
serious?
would have followed.
You're following those things?
Have you got a better idea?
They asked
Not
us
follow
to.
them?
But what if they want to show us something very important?
What if they don't?
What if they have good
Well-
ghost stories?
Alright, so I don't tell ghost stories, okay?
Would you
Well,
tell
maybe they
ghost
can teach
stories?
us tricks. Well, we told that one, and it.
I will point out as well, just to backtrack on this as well, this whole conversation is being prefaced by the fact that Breeze had literally just told, I believe, Rick, that the Fae are known for tricking people into following them.
Yeah, but we're Fae-like. We know the tricks of the trade.
Okay.
And they're moths. And they're friendly fellas. I trust Breeze, and if Breeze says it's time to go, I'm going with Breeze. What's the worst that can happen?
I trust Breeze.
You had to say that, didn't you?
I reckon I can fight a bug.
So
Lead on then.
What's Sebastian doing this whole time? Being quiet, leaning against
coolly
the car,
against
looking
the
cool.
car.
He's been leaning against the car, looking cool. I'm like, Sebastian, you coming? We're following these cool moths.
All right.
So Crisis, who is
We'll
still
hop off the car coolly. Still, I'm gonna ritual cast detect magic while. I'll have been ritual casting detect magic while I was sitting in the car, so I have it on now. If that's all right.
Yeah, that is absolutely fine. You cast detect magic. There is indeed magic around this whole area. It is indeed the Feywild. So
Magic bush is magic.
yeah, most of the trees, plants, even the animals around this area do have magic themselves. Your companions all seem to have magic of some description.
What those moths be doing though?
Glowing mostly and leading the way somewhere away from this campsite.
But I mean, like magic wise.
Magic wise, at the moment, they're just glowing. They just have the effects of a bioluminescence to them. It's not, I suppose, in a way magical. But because you did ritually cast this, every time that one of them vanishes and then like pops back into existence, you can tell that there is a shift in the magic, magic weave of the area. It would be every now and then, yeah, you'd get a warping and you'd feel, yeah, you can't tell what type of magic is with detect magic. No, you'd get a burst of magic every time one would vanish.
I can't tell what type of magic it is.
Oh, School of Magic. Okay, yeah, conjuration magic.
My question.
That's what I was just double checking because I didn't read properly. Yes, so every time one vanishes and reappears, you get a burst of conjuration magic.
Okay. Well, like a parent supervising the kiddies, I'll follow behind Breeze and Blake with an active perception check as well.
Okay.
And Breeze will just chatter on as she's walking. Well, if you think about it, it's like one of those stories where the hero is led by a mythical creature to see something, and then that sets them on the path of their destiny. Perhaps this will lead us on the path of our great destiny.
Aren't normally they really cool creatures, but like dragons and stuff, not moths?
Moths are pretty cool.
You're right, moths are pretty cool.
As you say, aren't they usually cool? One of the moths comes up behind you and clips you with its wing.
Do I get moth dust all over me?
Yes, you do.
Hello,
Kev.
Fucking pretty.
What a
I've always
terrible.
found moths way cooler than butterflies.
God, you're an edgelord.
I mean, have you ever
It's
seen
true, though.
a moth up close? They're pretty cool looking. And then you look at a butterfly and it's like, well, it's all flash and no substance.
Moths just misunderstood.
Is my boy Harsa coming with us and Crisis? Or is
Crisis
Yeah,
hasn't,
no,
Crisis
I
hasn't
did
actually
mention.
returned yet.
No,
Crisis!
Crisis returned with. He said that he pulled out his standard, returned to the group, and went, "What's all this then?" And then was
That's
invited
right.
along.
Thank you.
Get out of the bush, Harsa.
I wasn't even here, and I still know.
Thank you. Thank you.
I know he took his big flag with him and came for a wander over, but I don't know if he's chasing the night butterflies with us.
Well, no, he picked his standard up, and I believe you shrunk it back to its normal pendant size.
It's not in the
Crisis.
beads, I know that. I remember that much. It's not in the beads. He has just carried it.
Oh, you are just carrying a standard, Crisis.
Yeah, I'm just carrying the standard.
Okay.
And
The only one that was apart from the group was Hasso, who had gone into the bottom right-hand corner to, I guess, masturbate furiously.
oh, fuck, I'm over there then. Let's go.
He's like masturbating with the bros.
Hey, yo.
Let's. Oh,
Okay.
jeez.
As long as our feet don't touch, it's cool.
Half an hour in, and we're already
You
here.
got your socks on, yeah?
Okay, so
We're drippy sock.
You head up the path. Sebastian, as you are looking around with your 22 perception...
Motherfucker turning invisible with his perception.
No, perception is...
Oh, he's all the way up
He's
there.
not turning invisible.
I lost his icon is what I meant.
You're looking around, and you notice that there is a lot of wildlife around this area. Some of it is coming alive as the sun is setting, as it is a nocturnal space. The moths do seem to be... They're not flying around willy-nilly. They do seem to be flying in a very set pattern, leading you somewhere. There are dancing fey lights around. And you can hear in the trees as you're walking down this path the rustling sounds of small creatures. Thank you, Evil One, for the subscription. You hear the rustling in the trees as you manage to catch the glimpse of some lizard-like creatures that seem to be watching these moths intently. And as you are flying along, these lizards seem to be following along, trying to gauge a good moment.
Like lizards large enough to eat a 10-foot wide moth?
They are definitely smaller than the moths themselves. But they are big enough to eat a moth, one of these moths, yes.
Rick pulled his revolver out.
Is Hasa still here? Or is he... So, is Hasa with us or staying behind?
That is completely up.
No, Hasa would have accompanied. He was just off the path a bit.
Okay, I'll move over to Hasa and tap him on the shoulder. Hey, Hasa, we've got a bit of wildlife interested in our new friends here. Do you mind tossing one of your glitter bombs at them just to get them the fuck off?
I mean, to be fair, we don't know if they're after the moths or if they're just tagging along. And to be fair as well, we don't know if that's just going to antagonize them.
They're looking pretty hungrily at the moths.
Fair enough.
And it's either attempt to scare them off or have to fight them now, or wait until they pounce on our new friends and watch Breeze's cries of dismay at her, well, the ensuing carnage.
These creatures in the trees, as he points them out, Hasa, they kind of look a bit like an iguana, but with wings.
An iguana, but with wings.
Yes. Well, with wings,
Iguana
not
go on
but
a date with you.
So yes, they look...
An iguana's butt with wings, no.
Yes, no, they look
okay.
like iguanas with wings, so reasonably, like, goanna-sized, though.
Can we all hear them talking about fighting these lizards?
What you would
No.
know, Hasa, roll me in nature, because, you study nature because you like ripping creatures apart for their bits.
Thanks for forgetting it.
Looking at them, Hasa, you realize you've heard of these creatures before. There are lots in the Forest of Valor near your home. They are reasonably large lizards. They, your people, even before they left the material plane, would have had a lot of these creatures around their territory as well, because they are known that they can swim, they can fly, they are terrifying, they've got stingers, goanna-sized, and they are called amphitheres.
Amphitheres. Okay.
Yes.
Would he know?
They are
So
poisonous.
if these things are a regular occurrence to the point of being like pigeons or just your average pests, I'm assuming someone at some point has thought of a way to discourage them.
I would say somebody has thought of a way to discourage them. Not really, in the same way that, cane toads are kind of discouraged, or iguanas and stuff in Florida are discouraged. You can't really stop them, unfortunately. If there is a food source big enough for them, they tend to breed quite easily, and they're just a pest. The most that they kind of, the most that they encourage you to do is catch them when you can and eat as many as possible, just making sure that you cut off the tail with the poison glands before consumption, because don't do that. However, you do know that the tail with its poison gland can be used in alchemical potions, or can be turned into a pretty gnarly form of alcohol similar to tequila or mezcal. Also, Blake,
Looking up into the trees, Haas is just like, oh look. Well, thank you. We have dinner sorted.
Also, Blake, you get inspiration thanks to Evil One.
Oh, evil one. A man after my heart.
Alright, how many of them roughly can I see?
About 4 or 5.
Are they all kind of spread out, or are they generally grouping together as much as they can?
Not generally grouping together as much as they can. They don't seem to have any kind of organization to them. It's kind of in the same way that you kind of see them clustered together, like any of these stupid kind of predators. I say stupid kind of predators. You know, the same way that you see, you know, they're not deliberately clustered together like they're working together, but they do seem to be clustered together in the fact that they kind of live in the same vicinity, and they're all kind of trying to find the best possible place to essentially feed for the night. And these moths seem a really good meal. They're not looking at you guys as any form of food. You are too big for them.
Do I know if these are strictly carnivorous or omnivorous, or?
Nope, they are strictly carnivorous. They eat. They're like many lizards. They do eat bugs. They will attempt to eat anything smaller than they are. They also eat fish when they're swimming as well. Some of the ones that are a bit more coastal, you do know, can sometimes be known to eat kelp and things like this. But considering you're in the middle of a forest, it's probably unlikely.
Right, okay. Alright, I'm just gonna wait until I see as many of them relatively close to one another as I can get them, before I toss a glitter bomb their way. So, like, if a majority of them get within, like, 20 feet of each other.
Well, they're in a tree. They're in the trees around you, so that's not hard.
Yeah, alright. Then, yeah, he will, toss a glitter bomb up into the trees.
So we started shooting.
So anyway, I started blasting.
Blasted.
So you throw a glitter bomb up into the trees. There is a slight sound of an expultant as Breeze, you and Blake are at the front because you're following these moths, and you hear this as all of a sudden there is just mixed in with the fey lights and the fireflies and just the general glow of the bioluminescence of this forest. You just start to notice, Breeze, this gold glitter just trickle down on your skin as all of a sudden there is, up in the trees, just some fabulous bedazzled lizards. A number of them, Hasa, you do hear the as a whole heap of them like scurry off as their claws on the bark. You hear them scurry off kind of similar to a frog-neck lizard running off. But one or two kind of look at you, Hasa, and hiss. They're some of the slightly bigger ones.
I'll just look back over. If I need to chase these things off, you're good to cover the rest of us, yeah?
Do I know what these things are as well?
Roll me
Are they
nature.
common? Okay.
Does Blake know what they... No.
No, Blake has no clue. They're
Blake, as fuck.
They are disco ball lizards right now. But you, Breeze, you'd be aware of at least. You know that these are also predominantly in the spring and summer courts. You do know that some of the nobility within the Eladrin courts do sometimes keep them as pets, because they're exotic.
Oh. Pet episode, pet episode, pet episode.
Do you really want me to?
Nicholas
Do you really want me
Rose
to give you
fabulous.
pets? I've been warned. I'm not allowed to give you pets. Yuzu.
No.
I've
She'll kill them.
explicitly asked for pets.
She
I didn't know
will
you'd kill them though.
She will kill them.
I won't.
I
kill
want
them.
this lizard, but I want it to ride my moth too.
Can we make the lizards and the moths be friends? I do warn the moths as I see the sparkly lizards, and I say, "Watch out, new friends."
Yes, they're now super easy for the moths to see now that they're bedazzled.
Mm.
The moths do seem to fly a little lower, seem to try to make themselves a little bit less of a target, but they are still continuing to lead you along this path, bobbing along the way as they're kind of going with you see them flutter and then kind of float for a bit. Flutter, float. They're trying to make sure that they don't lose you in the underbrush. As Crisis walking at the back of the group, looking a little haunted, as you see the glitter, the shine of the glitter, as you see a little darting shape.
Don't give him Nam flashbacks.
Another one.
A little darting shape come out of the bushes, launch itself at you, and you watch as the coin rat runs off with at least 10 of your gold.
Flashbacks to Nam. Just the glitter reminds him of.
Yeah, I'm not dealing with this bullshit right now. I will plant my flag into the ground, just sit by the fire, and just ignore the moths.
He says no to this bullshit.
So yes,
I ain't having a bar.
you lost 10 gold to the coin rat, Crisis.
Yeah, I already took that off.
Yeah, thanks to
Yeah,
Tide Runner.
yeah, thanks.
So the rest of you continue down the path until you start noticing ahead, Breeze and Blake, because you're at the front. You can hear the sound of running water, kind of like a creek. Why you be like this? Crisis just gets slapped by the coin rat, and then it comes back and smacks the gold in his hands and runs off again.
Hey, it's a friendly fella.
The coin rat he has a little coin hoard.
He giveth and he taketh.
This is how the coin rat launders his money.
Let's point out at some point the coin rat, just because I want to, and everybody... There's just a swarm of coin rats as everybody loses 10 gold.
What the? This is bullshit. I wonder Blake doesn't know anything about taxes.
I will also point out, at some point, I am going to give an opportunity that the coin rat is just going to give everyone a baby mimic coin.
Hell yeah.
I'm going to eat it.
Oh, God. This went hentai real fast.
So running water, you say?
Yes. Yes, you hear the sound of running water up ahead. To your knowledge, Blake, there shouldn't be a creek up ahead, or a stream up ahead. It's a bit odd. It's a gentle burbling to the water.
Breeze and I have a bit of a jog going at the moment, don't we? Like we're sort of jogging towards this with them.
Yes.
I reach out and I grab Breeze by the wrist and I start to slow her down and I'm like, this isn't right. Something's not adding up here at the moment. Let's just slow down a little bit and wait for the rest.
Okay, but we don't want to lose them, so...
We won't lose them. I promise you that. We'll stay close enough that we're still within range and we can still see them and chat to them. I just don't really want to walk ahead much further without everyone else sort of here.
I look behind us. Say, hurry.
Well, they're following along with you, so they do catch up. I mean, everyone apart
Okay.
from Crisis, who decided to stay by the fire.
So he really walked back to the campsite. Okay.
Yep. He's like, nope, I'm none of this shit today. No, thank you, sir.
Oh, if we're all grouped up, let's see where the fuck the moths want us to go. Onwards.
Okay. So you continue making your way forward. And as you do so, you start to notice as the trees are starting to part and get more sparsely located together, you can see in the underbrush that there seems to be the source of this water. The sound of this water seems to be coming from what appears to be a constructed aqueduct style structure leading off into the forest. This appears to be man-made. It's not.
Now, I
natural.
definitely know what that is, but for James, who has no idea what that is, could you explain?
What an aqueduct is? It's like a creek, but it's very clearly got walls. It's got a structure, like it's been dug out and lined, like a like a causeway
that's what
kind
I
of
thought.
thing.
That's what I was telling James it was.
Yeah,
Yeah.
telling James. Yeah.
I told you.
Like what the Romans made with the pipes.
Yeah, basically Roman plumbing.
Yeah, thanks.
Roman plumbing.
Thanks, Echoes.
They do seem to be leading further northwards. Going uphill, there is obviously it has two directions, one going downhill away from a structure and obviously uphill.
How long has it been since I've been in this forest if this is here now? Like, this isn't an overnight job.
No, this is clearly not an overnight job. It doesn't look new, it looks worn.
I know Rome wasn't built in a day.
Hilarious.
I hate you so much.
Blake, you've got this weird look on your face. Is there something the matter?
I don't remember this being here. Now, I've forgotten a lot of things in my time, but I don't think I'd forget a structure like this in the middle of the forest.
When was the last time you were here?
A while ago, but not that long ago, I wouldn't think.
And you've been over every square inch of this forest, have you?
I was born and raised here.
In the
I mean,
forest?
I was born and raised in Seeker's Refuge, and I hadn't been to every single nook and cranny of it.
Yeah, but you're a rich kid. Rich kids have, like, servants and shit. Us poor folk had to play in the bush.
No idea what you're talking about.
I had a stick and a rock, and I used to just have to poke it around. Sometimes I'd poke something I shouldn't
Okay,
poke.
with stick rock.
You know Stick Rock. What a game. Don't tell me you're an avid Stick Rock fan.
Love it. With stick rock leagues.
Oh my god. What a time.
Could it? So, knowing what I know about construction,
Looking into my construction degree.
could this have conceivably been built in the time since Blake was last here, or is this like more like wow, a Wondrous pop up?
Well,
Nowhere.
I mean, it could have been built in the time, potentially. It doesn't take long, really, much, especially given the fact that the weather in this area always seems pretty mild and temperate. Every now and then there might be a storm, but because it's mild and temperate, there aren't as many delays with construction and things like that. So yeah, this causeway aqueduct could theoretically have been built before Blake had been through here, but considering that some of the stones look worn and chipped, this
passes a fun of recycling.
It's more the age of it doesn't seem to fit. It looks
rough contractors.
Centuries. It looks
worst.
centuries old.
Could I do like a history check or something?
You can certainly
See if
do
it's
history.
familiar. Okay.
You had a rock.
Do I have to use? Do I have to use with you? I don't know. With the DM inspiration, do you have to declare it beforehand, or could you use it after you know the results of the roll?
I usually do allow you to say stuff like that after the results of the roll, like because it's an adding to it, basically.
Cool. I'll go with this.
Damn, Breeze is a history nut.
Is the aqueduct magical?
Simple answer, yes. The aqueduct is magical. There, it seems to emanate.
Yes, but no.
Power. Well, I can't tell you what type of magic because, bizarrely, Sebastian, it radiates all magic. Every school.
Okay.
You beat me to it.
For you, Breeze, in terms of history, this style of aqueduct structure and things like this, through your knowledge, a lot of these kind of structures, at least these style of aqueduct structures, do seem reminiscent of temple structures, particularly the old water temple structures and things like this. Just the essence of bringing water as this inferred concept that water is, and rivers are like the lifeblood of any region. It's a lesson that you would have had hammered into you, with, especially in reference to where you grew up in the Eladrin court, because there is such importance and connection between Yggdrasil and the 5 rivers that seem to flow from underneath her roots.
So I can't relate it to a particular age, or I can't say, oh, this is in the style of the water temples from 2,000 years ago.
Well, that's the
or
thing.
Anything like that.
It can, while it does seem to have some kind of reminiscence without any markings to give you that. It looks like it could be a water duct of unknowable age, but generally this style of water duct hasn't really been built outside of cities and towns, because obviously they're where you're trying to bring the natural world into. This style of buildings you've only seen in books, because it refers to, we're not talking 2,000 years, we're talking 10,000 years, 12,000 years. That was the last real time that they started to, that they built these style of structures before the Starfall itself.
I'll have a look at the base of it.
Yep.
Does the plant life look like it's grown up around it, or it's been basically just been placed straight into it?
Roll me an investigation.
Rick does the old dad thing, gives it a tap, and he's like, yep, this ain't going nowhere.
Rick, it is very much overgrown. Like the wildlife around this area, or at least around the structure itself, is slowly reclaiming the structure.
So it doesn't look like it's just been plonked there. It's just it's been growing up around it. Okay.
Yes.
Place out of time.
Is Breeze the only one that can communicate with these moths?
No, they.
I think anybody with any kind of psychic powers probably can.
No, you don't even have to be psychic. You can talk to them. They understand you telepathically.
I would like to ask one of these fabulous moth donnings for some uppies. I wanna fly up a bit higher and have a look.
Roll me persuasion.
I
should have thought of uppies.
I want uppies!
Can I give him my DM inspiration so that he can get that 24?
No, you may not.
Oh.
I have inspiration?
You do have inspiration. You were given inspiration.
I use that. I want uppies! Blake's a slut for uppies.
Are you sure you would like to use your inspiration?
Oh.
The way you make it sound, I shouldn't. So that makes me want to do it more.
Do it.
I want uppies.
The moth you approach, it has this bioluminescent, almost neon green glow to it. It looks very ethereal, almost a little bit ghoulish, but you watch as it turns its little fluffy antennaed heads as it lowers itself to about knee height so you can climb on.
Oh, uppies!
There is a flutter as you start to ascend.
I'm getting kidnapped. I'm getting kidnapped.
You have no idea what you've done.
Oh no.
So, you ascend. Breeze, you watch as Blake, very excited,
Jealously?
climbs aboard the moth. And it starts to ascend into the sky. And it is going to show you the world, Blake. Shining, shimmering, splendid.
I don't like this at all. I've made a grave mistake, team.
We don't know this is bad, so I mean, Breeze is now thinking, well, I didn't know you could do that, so maybe I should ask for uppies.
And Breeze,
You
watch as Blake ascends above the canopy under the moonlight of the spring moon and vanishes.
Motherfucker.
Like he vanished into the trees?
Nope, just he was there, the
Right
moonlight hit its wings, and poof, nothing.
We should follow him, right? Everybody grab him up.
Are you crazy?
But Blake's, I mean, something's happened. I guess he went through some sort of portal, perhaps, but we can't leave him.
From the abyss. Rick, the old Rick would do it.
I mean, Blake's supposed to be experienced in this sort of stuff, so I can't imagine he would have done anything to put himself in needless danger.
Well, let's go with him.
What I mean is, he'll be back in a bit.
Okay, well,
Let's
we'll
find
give
out,
it a
and I
few
will
minutes.
I will also climb aboard.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I'd also like to befriend, try and get on board a moth.
All of you roll me persuasion to see if you persuade these goddamn moths.
Idiots.
Excuse me, if they're kidnapping us, I don't think you need to persuade them.
Are we ruining the game? Are we breaking it?
No? All good.
No, this is where you level up, I promise.
Hell
I knew
yeah.
the level up was coming.
This is where I get dragged off by two of them by my ankles.
Head just dragging across the dirt as they can't get it off.
The moon is a giant bug zapper. Okay. Breeze. The nearest moth you, it is a lovely hot pink and kind of a mango yellow orange colour. Also lowers itself so that you can scramble onto its back.
I can't put my icon on top of it. Okay.
And it doesn't take long before Breeze is missing too. Hasa, the moths, there are a couple of moths around you. And a few of them kind of come close to you, then dart away. Seem to be teasing you with their presence, the soft flutter of their wings. You're just slowly getting covered in moth dust. Until eventually one kind of like flutters a little too close and just like straight up runs into you. Just in your face.
Cool.
You find yourself covered in a lovely turquoise blue dust from head to toe. Just it's stuck in your hair, it's in your ears, it's in your eyes. It's just all gone down your collar. The
Roll for
dust.
sex appeal.
No, this is a full-grown kind of toned man covered in glitter.
This is hot.
Like-
Tell me more. Let's
Yeah.
focus on this.
Yeah.
Mm.
Full like Twilight mode. He's gonna step out into the moonlight and just start glittering. You know.
Oh,
Add to that
Yeah,
your
tell me what?
This was here. She would have.
add to that under this moonlight your bioluminescent markings.
Yeah,
come
his
to the
veins of
forefront.
light. Yeah.
damn. Haas has got sex appeal. Roll advantage.
Hasa gets a strange and probably stupid idea, and I'm going to attempt to climb one of the trees so that I can hit the moonlight myself.
Damn. Haas is smart.
Just get to a point where I can, like, even if there's a clearing where I can get to moonlight, if I don't have to climb a tree, that's fine. But yeah.
Oh yeah. Sebastian, what are you doing right now? What are you and Rick doing?
Rick's going to climb the aqueduct. Get a better view.
I'm watching.
Okay, so Rick, you start climbing, going northward, following the aqueduct. The trees through here that you every now and then, Hasa, as you're walking through the moonlight, you do get that glow on your skin that lights up your veins of light. But it isn't for another 100 meters or so before you actually reach a clearing where there seems to be rubble and stone. The aqueducts here don't have any water in them. They seem to be empty, with lots of moss and vegetation that's taking it back over. It appears to be some style, like there are very worn, crumbling stairs, a structure that could have been a columned gazebo or some description, but it is very worn and torn to pieces, and it is very clear that it is old. But as you step out into this clearing, the moonlight completely hits you, and you're glowing from the bioluminescent moth dust, but also your veins of light just light up. Your eyes light up.
Okay. And nothing else seems to happen.
Nope.
Okay. In that case, my theory was incorrect, and I'm going to immediately cast Locate Animals or Plants, targeting the what was it called? The mushroomy thing that Blake helped me find.
Oh, the liver thingy.
Yeah, because I know Blake picked some up too.
Yeah, I've got some of them in my pocket.
You cast out, as Rick joins you in this clearing, which after a moment, Rick, the water dries up and it starts to turn into this dried aqueduct with plants all over it that nature has reclaimed. But as you cast out your magic, Hasa, reaching for the mushrooms you know Blake has, it's like your magic reaches a precipice and just falls off. Can't find it.
Well, fuck.
Wonderful. Okay.
Your best buddy's gone.
Yeah.
Reason Blake. Bye, guys.
So I'm by myself now, right?
If you followed, are you just standing in? Are you where they left you, basically?
Yeah, I'm where they left me. Is there still a moth around?
Yeah, there's a couple of moths there fluttering around, waiting for you. There are a couple that have followed Hasa and Rick.
All right. Sebastian's going to say to himself, "The friend dear," and cast Detect Thoughts on himself.
On himself?
Well, yeah, as in like.
Oh yeah,
I've
you're
cast
casting the spell on yourself. Okay, got it. Yep.
Yeah. And I'll turn to one of the moths, focusing my attention, not the deeper probing yet, but just the surface probing, which
Yep.
is they can't detect, and ask, so, where have your friends taken my friends?
Okay. Okay, cool. Just double checking the wording in the spell. It kind of looks at you and it seems hesitant as it lowers, like it's waiting for you to climb aboard.
No? Sebastian's just standing there, arms in pockets, looking at him.
You've never seen a moth look uncertain before, but this moth looks confused.
And what is my reading giving me?
While this creature understands telepathy, he can't speak.
Doesn't speak any language.
Yep, the actual wording says it understands languages via telepathy but can't speak.
Okay, fair enough. So if I probed deeper, I wouldn't learn things like its emotional state or
Unfortunately,
large
the
blooming
creature
things.
is unaffected if it doesn't speak a language.
Right.
It has just enough intelligence that your spell would have worked, but it doesn't speak a language.
Well, it's or.
Or doesn't speak a
That's
language, yes.
Okay, I'll just wait then.
The moth is hovering around you uncertainly, like it's not quite sure what you want. It's very clear that it thinks that you want to join its friends. It's not really sure what it's doing, but it also doesn't want to leave you here unattended in the forest.
I mean, it can talk, right? Like, the other ones were talking.
One spoke to Breeze.
So none of the others have displayed... Are there any others around?
There are other moths around, yes.
I guess... Well, I mean, I'll go... Okay. I'll go over each of them, since I can do it pretty easily, to, like, check if any of them have thoughts. And if none of them do, I will use this trait. You can use action to give it. Must be able to see you. Yeah, if none of them display the ability to think intelligently, I'll give a mind link, which should allow me to communicate.
Well, this is the thing. You can talk to them. They can understand you. As you've been talking to them, like giving them directions, asking them, they've been responding like they can understand. It's just they can't speak to you.
Yeah, no, I'm giving it the ability to speak to me.
Okay.
So I can use my action to give it the ability to speak telepathically with me for 1 hour.
Okay. So you pick one of the creatures, and you spend a few minutes looking at it as your mind reaches out and connects with the inner space of this beast. This monstrosity, should I say? It's a monstrosity. It's sitting near you, and you can kind of start to get this hazy idea that it's sitting there with indecision, just turning around, and you start to get this little voice in your head of like, what does it want? Get on, not get on. Come, not come. What do you want? Quiet you.
Well, I'll speak psychically with it in its mind. Well, I've given you the ability to talk with me, so now you can answer. Where have your friends taken my friends?
The roads.
What, sorry?
The roads.
I see. And
Yes.
what is the destination of this road?
Everywhere. The shiny lights. The things before, the things to come. Everywhere.
You don't say.
Yes, I do say.
To anywhere.
Yes. We go where the light takes us. We must follow the light.
And can you take me too?
Yes, I can.
Well, if you don't mind, I'll hop on.
You want to go?
Yeah. Yeah, I want to go.
Okay.
Oh. Maybe this road will take me somewhere else.
Maybe. Maybe not. We will follow the light together.
Might need a bit of that.
There is a fluttering of wings as it starts to ascend with you, Sebastian. As you feel the moonlight hit your skin and the world around you, there is a soft flutter like wings brushing over your skin, ruffling your hair as you feel yourself vanish from the material where you are right now. We will join you guys in a minute. Rick and Hasa, what are you doing?
I'm scared.
What the hell do we do now?
My suggestion would be to join them.
Meanwhile, Crisis is just like do do do
The
do.
Jeep's back there.
How are the smallest Crisis?
Crisis is just doing his own sparkling in the moonlight.
You can go if you want. Staying here.
Alright, then we'd better go get Crisis.
Split the party, split the party.
Wasn't that far back, yeah?
No, it's not that far back. It's only like a couple. It's only like 10, 15 minutes back. You didn't actually walk that far.
Go bring the Jeep back.
Yeah, alright. I'll stay here if you want to go and grab the Jeep.
Okay.
I'll head back to the camp.
Okay. You hustle knees to chest back to the camp. Okay.
Crisis. Idiots are gonna disappear on those moths.
Oh.
Yeah. I'm gonna take the Jeep down to where they disappeared and I'm gonna have to wait. See if they come back.
All right, all right. I'll kick dirt into the fire, and I'll get my standard back into its bead form, wrap it around my arm, and climb into the car.
Thank you for respecting camp safety. Putting out the fire.
Smokey would be proud.
Only
Hell
you can
yeah.
stop forest fires, citizen.
Yeah, only me, so I have to make sure I do this shit right.
Oh, you are the chosen one.
Crisis is in charge of all campfires from now on.
So you get in the car, you start up the car.
And I'll take it down to the aqueduct and the last place we saw him.
You drive down the road. It's not even a 10-minute drive. It's like a 2-minute drive down the road with a squealing of brakes. You pull into the clearing where there is the ruins of what appears to be some kind of gazebo structure.
Is that an aqueduct?
Yeah. Apparently it's not supposed to be here.
I was thinking about the geography, but yeah, okay.
Crisis.
Yeah.
The ruins of this gazebo-like structure, even in the moonlight at this distance, there seems to be some familiarity to it. It seems similar to the ruins that you awoke in.
Roll for PTSD.
Oh no. Rick, you ever seen anything like this back in Althalmir? Just the general structure of it?
No. Sold.
You know, let me try something real quick before we do anything stupid. And I will
Bit late for
pull
that.
out. Well, before I do anything stupid, I don't know about you. I will pull up my radio and I'll try to radio Hassa.
Hassa is literally standing glowing next to the car.
across the horizon.
Oh,
Hassa's
I thought
phone
he went on.
rings. He answers it from the other side of the clearing. Hey.
No. I thought he went over and Rick came back. Okay. Then yeah, never mind then. Well,
I mean, he's in the clearing that you guys have just arrived at.
You're on his bad side. He can't see properly out of that eye.
So, Rick, how did they disappear?
We jumped on those moths and then just gone.
Well, see, that's why you don't touch animals, because they don't like it, and they'll poof you.
No, when I was following them, they'd poof in, poof out. Don't wait for them to come back again.
Yeah, I would never trust an animal that can boof in, boof out like that. Oh. I guess I'll climb out of the car.
Sit and wait.
I will sit and wait in the car.
Okay.
That's what we'll do.
As you sit and wait. Meanwhile, for those of you who can see something else, for those of you who can...
everybody else doesn't see that?
Nope.
Okay.
I was waiting to ask.
I thought we should... Okay.
Wait, what are we supposed to be saying?
You should be able to see it too, Sebastian.
Is it...
The map.
Don't say it.
That's what I mean. I don't know.
Is it different to what it was? If it's different to what it was before?
Yes.
Yeah, it's not the camp anymore.
No.
Yeah. Okay. Then there you go.
That's the thing.
It's the thing.
It's okay. For those people who are watching the stream, they can see the map that you're seeing. Which, for anyone who is wondering to know, I did not build this map, and I will put links to it.
I built it.
No, I follow a Patreon.
I built it.
Domille's Wondrous Works. So
That's
me.
That's not how you say May.
I
Pronunciation.
did not make
No,
this map.
I built it.
However,
I'm Spartacus.
I'm Spartacus.
you find yourself. You can see the camp map. Okay. So, for those of you who vanished on the moths. The moths start to descend as you become aware of candles, of a structure.
Like you'd be so upset if you saw this.
As you descend closer, the light within the gazebo structure starts to grow brighter. And you see the form of a woman within.
God, grow brighter.
Silhouetted in the light breeze, you can see that this woman has this long floor-length robe in shadowy, translucent black fabric. She has long silver hair down her back.
The real question, but is she cute?
You can't see her from the front, and also, calm down. You can see her long silvery hair running down her back, reaching her lower back. But the thing that grabs your attention, Breeze, there seems to be gold accents that catch the light all through her hair and off the tips of what appear to be her horn caps. You can see that her skin is a purplish colour.
Okay. So she's just a random tiefling, I suppose, right?
She seems to be looking deeper into what appears to be this shrine-like structure, looking at the walls. As your moths descend so that you can climb off.
Sebastian, you came with.
And yes, Kevin, this is a fitting dress. She does have a booty. She curvy.
Damn, she got a dumpy.
Alright. Hey.
Where are the others? Did they not come?
No, they're checking out the temple, it seems. I was discussing with one of our new friends here, and he definitely said this journey would be a little bit more interesting than it turned out to be, but I feel as though... Can I see the woman as well?
Yes, you can see the woman. The moth that you are... Have you climbed off your moth, by the way, Sebastian?
Yes.
Your moth continuously is bumping into you like a very excitable puppy.
I ruffle his hair while I'm talking, but a purple woman with horns and
Looks like
various golden-ish features.
Looks like, just make sure that I'm doing it so that only certain people can see. Looks like this.
Damn, she a baddie with her baddie
I was gonna
friends.
say, calm down, like.
Oh,
I
yeah,
mean...
she looks like this on. Hey, little mama, let me whisper in your ear. Does
she look familiar to?
That's interesting.
I can unequivocally say 100% she does not look familiar.
She looks familiar to me.
She looks familiar. You know this woman.
Well, perhaps this is a bit, I hope it's not, but might be a bit racist, but, her likeness was described to me by another extra planar, mysterious person.
Oh, so you're just always chatting with extra planar, mysterious people. I bet this isn't the first time you followed a moth into the moonlight either.
No, we all have our firsts, but she's supposed to be dead. And we're here.
It's rude not to say anything. Great, we should approach. But could you tell me anything about her?
Well, fingers crossed we're not dead. But Sebastian will raise his voice loud enough that like she'd be able to hear, and just say, yell the name. Crisis.
Nah, brother, he's not here. We left him behind at the campfire.
You see the woman's head slightly turn as she seems to become aware that she's not alone here. As she realizes you're standing there, you watch her turn warily, her hand disappearing into the diaphanous, flowing fabric of her skirts to pull out a dagger from what appears to be a sheath on her thigh.
Hands in pockets. That is your name, correct?
So cool.
I mean, only my friends call me that, and you're not exactly someone I know.
This week has been full of coincidences.
If there's anything I've learned, there ain't no thing as coincidences in this world.
I sure hope there's coincidences in this world, because you have the same name as our ghostly friend back home.
And you sound exactly like him.
I do say.
Oh no, we stumbled into somebody else's backstory.
Meanwhile, just I know he's not saying anything, but sheer panic, I can feel it.
I am actually going to turn to the moths. Presumably you can come back for us. I don't suppose you could go back and go grab our white-skinned friend for us.
Grab them all.
Be very convincing to him.
Oh,
Why don't we just...
no, don't worry about it. He shouldn't be here. At least not yet. I mean, if he does show up here, then I'll have to beat his ass because he hasn't done what he's supposed to do.
What's he supposed to do?
Well, that'd be a question to ask him. He's the one that keeps making the promises to the moon goddess.
He seems to have a lack of memory.
Yeah, he's just struggling with a lot of PTSD, honestly, at the moment.
I mean, when doesn't he?
Well, you know him better than we do.
I should hope so. I was married to him for like 8,000 years.
Oh, you're his wife? Why are you here then? And why is he there?
Because I'm dead and he's not?
Are we dead?
Oh, no, you're fine.
You're not dead.
You're...
Oh, thank you.
Damn! She fine.
You're taking a jaunt here or something like that. I don't know, I'd have to ask Eris or Tanib. They tend to know more about this stuff than I do.
Well, our friends behind us, presumably she could see the moths, took us on a little field trip.
Like I said, there ain't no thing as coincidences.
There ain't no thing but a chicken wing. Did the moth eat my berry I gave it?
Yes.
Ah, nice.
I met someone who goes by the name of Nemo.
Yeah, I met him once or
Who's-
twice. Not too many times, as I tended to make the trip to the material plane a lot less as I got older.
And he shared a body, as he put it, with someone called Elpheus,
Sounds about right.
and told me that they used to be in a party with someone by the name of Roland, who they said was your husband.
They weren't in a party with Roland. Roland tended to hang out with
Are
Eris.
you cheating on Crisis with Roland?
What?
You just
No.
said you were married to Crisis.
That's what he goes by in this incarnation. But no, the party you're thinking about, let's be honest, if you want more answers about that party, I'd be talking to Farouk. He tended to be one of the leaders of those conspirators. Roland tended to spend more time with Eris and Teneb and those kinds.
Just a quick reminder, Farouk is Haas's grandfather, yeah?
That is correct, yes.
Who's dead. Is
No.
What I kept...
He's alive.
Farouk is not dead. Farouk is Haas's great-grandfather.
Okay, there was some...
Yeah, no, there's bloodlines.
No, there was just some crossed wires on... Who
Yeah.
the fuck's alive and who's dead? So...
No, that's okay. To explain, Farouk is his great-grandfather, is alive. Farouk's Haas's grandfather is dead. So, does it make sense?
Okay, that was the confusion. Okay.
Yes. And
Has she moved out of the light, or is she still standing up there?
she's started to descend the stairs a little bit. You can see that she's wearing leather pants under the skirt. She is very finely muscled, but you can see that she has the body of someone who is very accustomed to fighting and fighting well. Yeah, they traveled with my son, Karada.
Which would be, if this is his current iteration, Roland's and therefore Crisis's son.
Correct.
Crisis as a kid?
He's got several kids. He's got 4. Actually, I think,
So-
5. Sorry, 5. Had 5.
Why
should I
doesn't
say.
he remember any of this, or is he just lying to us?
Is he just a bad dad?
Well, no. It's been over 1,000 years since Roland passed. And wandering through death when you've been touched by it for so long that I guess he lost his way and couldn't make his way through the final gates.
But you believe he shouldn't be here yet because he's got some task that he's currently...
He shouldn't be here yet
Dwindling
because
on.
he's dumber than a dog dipped in dog shit. He keeps
He
making
would not like it if you said that.
Oh, please. When I first met him before we actually got married, I stabbed him, and he still married me, so it can't be too bad.
Oh my god, Haas has got a crush on me. He just headbutted me beforehand.
Always thought that he had a crush on you.
Hey, do you know anything about a laughing shadow that follows that man around? Real creepy vibes. Also, do you want a berry? You've been dead for a while. Can you eat?
I don't need to eat, but thank you for the offer. As for shadows, no. Got no idea. I just know that whatever he's doing, I'd like him to hurry up. I'm getting tired of waiting for him.
Oh. But if he doesn't know what he's doing, has he been making promises to a moon god recently?
I mean, in the time I've known him, darling, he's been making promises to that moon goddess for nigh on 15,000 years. Tends to happen when you decide that you're going to become a time-traveling warrior of moonlight and wolves and death and whatever else he promised himself to.
Oh, and I thought he was just some dude. He was like, okay.
He's meant to have a wolf?
Oh, don't get me
Has
wrong.
someone told him to feed it?
Don't get me wrong. He is just an ordinary dude. Like, he's...
Okay.
He's he's the most human person I ever did meet, but somehow he managed to stumble his way into God knows what. And
He's a god? Oh.
a god, no, he's not a god. If you even suggested to him he was a god, he'd laugh in your face.
But he travels through dimensions and time, and he's escaped death, and he's gone to death's door and then walked back from it, and now he's just here hanging out with us?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, just an average guy, Breeze.
Okay.
Typical
so
Monday, apparently.
It's more of a classic example of not what you know, but who you know.
Yes.
He doesn't seem to know anyone but anymore.
Except for Rick, and then Rick's, Rick.
Yeah, do you know Rick, angry little raccoon man?
I can't say I've had the pleasure.
You're
Okay, so
lucky.
he's not secretly some sort of god in disguise.
He might
He's the god
be.
of death, and he walks next to Crisis at all times.
Look, he might be for all I know, because some of the most unassuming people I've met end up being gods. So,
And then some of the most flashy people are just boring, regulars. Yeah.
He said you were fine.
let's be
Huh?
honest, the first time Roland died, he got stabbed by a guy hiding behind a door.
The old door stabbing. I respect it.
But
What
why
are you
doesn't
doing
he?
here?
And where
Well-
is he?
Here is an interplanar space that seems to just exist. I found a couple of these recently. They seem to be places of power that... I get the feeling I'm supposed to be here. Like,
We
there's-
supposed to be here, or did we just get lucky?
well, I don't know about you. I can't talk on that, but I feels like I'm supposed to be here right now. And you watch as she walks down the steps to go stand
Damn, who's
next
she
to...
pushing off the steps?
No, she walks down the steps and stops next to the pool. There's a space there where she seems to stop for a moment, look confused, put a hand out as if to touch something, and then shake her head and turns back to you.
Is there a way that he can remember what he's supposed to be doing?
Probably, but you'd need to dreamwalk. Give him reminders of who he is.
I think
Risky
you can
that.
give us.
If you could find Karada, you could probably help him a lot. You might even be able to, I don't know. We used to call him Dreamer for a reason. He used to have a head filled with all the possibilities of what the world could be if only good people stood up and stood against that.
He seems rather jaded these days.
That'll tend to happen when you see history repeating itself and you realize everything you were running away from ended up being caused by you. You see, where we're from, the Witch Queens existed and did a terrible number on the place.
Still are.
You'd be you'd be surprised that, when you think you're going back to fix things, try and make a world a better place, only to find out that, the Witch Queens only exist because they're your kin. Maybe that's why. Maybe that's why I couldn't cross.
You and
Unfinished.
Crisis' kids are the Witch Queens.
Darling, one of our kids is a god. Like I said,
Okay.
we've lived extraordinary lives for an ex-assassin and a freedom fighter.
Who is this moon god that you keep mentioning, by the way, that Crisis is crazy about?
She's a goddess from a long time ago. She was a dragon god of the moon. Her children created the... I keep getting this all confused and stuff. But apparently her kids made the world as it was. The ancient place known as Azuria before the Starfall.
But what was her name?
Her name? This is my own problem for not opening up my own documentation. Because I didn't think about this. Give me 1 second. Her name is...
You mean you don't have all of this
She's probably-
information
She's bad with
memorized?
names. She's bad with names. This particular strange tiefling is bad with names.
It's great. It's-
Crisis is just she's rebooting as she tries to remember a name. I can see the cogwheel turning.
She's thinking.
Crisis is sitting next to Rick thinking, I feel like I should be somewhere else right now. Like I'm really missing out on something.
Just
He's just got major FOMO.
Just while
Wanted
she's
to stay back at camp.
Just while she's thinking, by the way, just for you, in the other plane of existence where you are, Crisis, you feel this ghostly touch on your face.
When she went through the pool. Sorry.
Yeah, imagine being cockblocked by death.
More likely than you think. Okay, so I feel a touch on my face.
Yeah, you just feel this hand on your face that vanishes after a moment. It's like a moment of warmth and comfort. You feel tears prick your eyes. As on the other plane of existence, she turns around and goes... She's talking to you guys. The goddess Shayloon. Back in her day, she was known as the Night Mother. She was the goddess of the moon, and he's always felt a special connection to her. She made him promises that he could fix his world.
Did he love her?
Oh, God, no. Most of the time he hates her and can't stand her.
Oh. Okay.
Like I said, he doesn't
Why is
exactly
he
revere
doing
the
a dirty
gods.
work?
Well, it's hard to revere the gods when you realize that some of them do stupid shit.
Like riding on a moth to a foreign plane, one would say.
I mean, it's not the worst thing I've heard. One of the things I know is, well, first of all, Eris decided to create an entire day centered around empowering koalas to toilet paper an entire town and somehow turn that into a national holiday. Or making a giant cookie in a volcano, so...
What date was this?
Gur Day. It's a long, forgotten holiday, and it should stay forgotten, but pretty sure they probably still worship it somewhere in Enthelamere.
That's magical.
Does that giant lamp behind you do anything?
It illuminates the interior frescoes in there. Leave good eye alone. Yeah, there's some weird al frescoes in there. I recognize some of the imagery, but I don't recognize the symbols. I didn't put much stock in learning all that kind of stuff. Took Seeker a good 500 years to teach Roland to figure out what they said.
These would be sigil magic, would it?
I'm not gonna have any idea what these mean. I'll just go look, thinking I've read books.
The lamp. Lick the lamp.
I've read books, and I look, and I bet
Everyone knows you find out the most information by licking it.
Taste is a sense.
Lick the rock.
I lick the lamp. I lick the rock. No, I don't lick the rock. But do I understand?
As you walk
Should
in,
I?
As you walk in
Lick
and
the
you see,
lamp.
as you walk in and you see the stone walls, you can see that there are carvings on the walls, various images and sigils. Some of them do appear quite worn and worn away, but on one of the main back walls is this one.
God damn it! It's a portal.
Well,
I think I know what it is too.
I recognize. Well, it's hard not to recognize Nate Shing. I had tea with him almost every weekend for a good couple thousand years, so.
The
So I get
chaos
that.
monkey himself.
I get that that's Nate Shing, but I don't recognize the symbols. They're not symbols that seem familiar to me.
I'm assuming I don't recognize them, but I'll ask just in case.
Well, so Boo, I think we clarified this after the last time it happened, that stuff like comprehend languages and identify wouldn't allow me to read sigil magic.
Well, that's because these are symbols. They're not a word. They're not a phrase. They're not. While they're more like hieroglyphs at this point. They're like alone. They are an image. They are a depiction of a name, I suppose, if that makes sense. Like it in and of itself, it's a whole image that denotes something. I mean, if you were to read them, it would tell you a word, but without context, it's just a word. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I need to come back here at level 5. Guys, we came here too early. I need to be level 5 to have my ability to read this.
You can certainly come and look at them and get an idea about what they say, like what the actual single symbol says. It's still a name or a word. It just doesn't have any context without other context clues.
Is there anything stopping me from like jotting these down in a little book?
No, not at all. You can certainly jot them down in a little book.
All right. Well, I'm gonna jot these symbols down the best I can, and I want to touch the lamp.
It's warm.
Nothing else.
It's a lamp.
Lamp.
Lump. It is a lump.
Well, I'm bored with this. I want to hear more dirt about Crisis. Tell me more about Crisis. Any embarrassing secrets? Do you ever wet the bed?
I mean, why would I tell you secrets that you can possibly completely torment my husband with?
Because I would never torment him. Did you hear? Oh, you wouldn't know because you've been dead. He's got an adventuring guild now. He calls them the Crisis Crew.
That doesn't surprise me.
Hmm.
At least it's better. We went through the Moonlight Wolves, the Twilight Wolves. Everything's wolf related for him.
Ah, he likes wolves. Do you reckon I should buy him a pet dog?
Look, honestly, you turn around and promise me that you wouldn't, you know, I'm like, why would I give you things to traumatize my husband with? Of course I would. Why wouldn't I?
Oh, we are going to get along so well.
I mean, that man couldn't even read for like 5,000 years.
Wait, I don't know if he can read now. I'm going to have to find out.
Well, he had to get Seeker to teach him, which, you know, you've never lived until you've seen a grown man learn how to read from a dog.
He has a dog already? Where is it?
Dead.
Oh, that's less exciting. My apologies.
I mean, Seeker lived a very full life. I don't think I've seen many dogs live to be like 2,000 years old.
So do you reckon I should get him another puppy?
I wouldn't say no.
Okay, so he needs a puppy.
The dog was called Seeker.
The dog was called Seeker, yeah. He was the best
Seeker's
boy.
respite. Is that...
I wouldn't know about that. You'd have to ask.
Oh, he doesn't remember anything.
Farouk is the founder, who was around when Roland was last Roland.
Do you have anything that could help him jog his memory?
Should I hit him in the head? Because we already headbutted each other and that didn't work.
I mean, you can attempt to. I'm not going to say no. You know, give him hell. But if I was going to say anything, trying to find some contact with Karada or Eris or even, I don't know, I'm trying to think. Actually, that might work. Look for an old dude. He's got a cat. Goes by the name of Marshall.
Marshall, man with cat. I write it down in my little journal. Man with cat, Marshall. What's he look like?
About 6 foot tall, white hair, has a cane, really likes cheesecake.
Old man, likes cheesecake, cane, cat. All right. Do you know where we should start looking for him?
If I was going to say anywhere, I'd probably say probably the Winter Court. Yeah, probably the Winter Eladrin Court. He tended to go there a lot because, well, after, you know, they were taught the recipe for cheesecake, they made some of the best winterberry cheesecakes in the world. And God knows that man knows how to eat cheesecake. And he likes high places. And jumping off them. And traumatizing people by jumping
You're
off
like a
them.
ghost. Are you stuck here?
In a matter of speaking. I don't
Can you
think...
possess things?
I don't know. I've never tried.
Try and possess me.
You're really sweet, but I don't want to be anywhere inside your insides.
But we could torment Crisis together.
Somehow, I don't think you need my help to do that, but I keep being led to these places. Wandering around, trying to find some connection. Trying to bring him home.
I'm sure we'll cross paths again in the future.
Yeah, we'll see. Magic works in mysterious ways.
Well, these roads lead to everywhere, so...
Yeah. Magic really does. I never had a lick of it myself, let's be honest. I was always better with the knife.
Question. Can I shapeshift into Crisis?
You can turn into equipment. I think you have set forms, like you have a set female form, a set male form, and the halfway in between with your ears and your tails, and then a fox
Because I've
form.
also got Disguise Self.
Disguise Self would probably do something like that. As Blake is introspecting that, Crisis walks over to Breeze, who seems to be hanging back, looking at stuff. You seem uncertain of yourself.
What? No, I'm very. What are you talking about? I'm so cool.
You remind me a lot of myself when I was younger.
Really?
Yeah.
Like an
I spent a long time trying to prove to people who didn't deserve it that someone who grew up on the streets and did not much with themselves could do amazing things. Also, I like your style.
Thank you.
Life.
You know what? I don't know what's going on, but somehow I reckon it's all going to turn out. If at least you guys are going to keep him out of trouble, because God knows he knows how to find it. But in case...
Well, I think maybe some of us are so much trouble that he decides to be the sensible one and not get into the trouble. So
I love the fact that you think he's a sensible one. But in case you do need help, a well-placed knife in the right place can always help. I want you to have this. Been waiting. She hands you her stiletto knife.
Oh, bitch.
I take it.
It is a slightly longer than normal silver dagger. It has a black leather handle with what you first think is a... you can see that it's got a silver wolf howling at a silver moon, and just all these little glimmering... You just think they're little studs, but upon closer inspection, you can see that there are 9 little diamonds that represent stars in the hilt. You have Crisis' stiletto, and I will tell you something about that later. So...
Okay.
Everyone's getting cool gifts.
Yeah, but I'm gonna feel like obligated to give it to Crisis.
Nah, fuck that, yours.
As she hands it
Might
to
as
you,
keep us losers
as she
victors.
hands it to you, she takes your hand and she puts it in your hand with the sheath as well. I've been waiting a long time to find somebody I think is worthy of it.
I didn't do anything. I just arrived here on a cool moth.
Well, you seem surprised that sometimes ordinary people do amazing things, especially when people are always going to underestimate you. Usually, the pretty girl in a dress is always the one that is underestimated. So
Yeah.
give him hell.
I would like to swap genders to a pretty girl in a dress. Do I get a knife?
You do not. Calm down, sir.
I'm not gonna lead in and kiss Crisis's his current wife. So she's holding my hand. I'm like, should we kiss? And I say, no, that's a stupid idea. And I say, thank you. I'll remember that. And if I ever think, I remember that one day that somebody now who travels between worlds, between moon temples, also is a little who's married or met with gods, befriended gods, had children that are gods, was also sometimes insecure.
You have no idea. The fact is, don't give up. And don't let
But you can't, it's not that obvious, right?
No.
It's not that obvious, right? I mean, nobody can tell.
No, but
Come off like very confident.
No, but like speaks to like. Don't ever let them tell you what you can and can't do. You hear me?
I hear you.
And you notice that the light in the temple starts to fade as she starts to become slightly translucent. Good luck. She kind of gives you a warm smile, rests a hand against your cheek
I love you.
before she vanishes.
I kind of reach out to her and she vanishes.
As the moonlight
Whoa.
and the lantern of this place fades, you start to notice that the rocky pillars of this temple, this shrine, are starting to fade, turn to ruin around you as the bright orange glow starts to fade.
Can I tip my water skin out and fill it up with some water from this fountain real quick?
Sure. Roll for speed. No. You managed to do so. You get some water
But the
in it.
mothsicles.
The moths are still sitting there, fluttering next to you. As the moonlight shifts, as a cloud slowly drifts over it, you can see that the moon is slightly shifted in the sky. And as it gets darker, you start to notice the shape of a jeep where Crisis had been standing before.
Sebastian, is that where you parked the car? Oh, damn, he's too cool to acknowledge me.
The temple around you, the shrine around you is now nothing but rubble. And Rick, Crisis,
We can see them now.
you watch as slowly in the shadows of this structure, Hartha, slowly in the shadows of this structure, they kind of phase into existence.
Where the hell are you lot been?
I've conquered worlds. It has been a mere moment since I left for you, but for us it's been aeons.
Okay.
All right, settle down. Settle down.
Well,
You could back me up on my.
I'm backing you up. I'm all for it. We're conquerors.
Never mind. Are the moths still with us?
The moths are indeed still with you.
I just go over and pet my moth. You tell them, Blake.
Breeze, give it a berry. Mine likes berries.
I do have the berries still, the overripe ones, so I will feed it a berry.
The moth gives you a slight purring noise as its little antennas seem to vibrate with happiness.
So, is that your noises? You're all robot-y and crazy for me.
I was gonna say, am I the only one here in Robo Sebastian?
Yeah, no, it's majorly broken.
Oh.
He came back from the other side as a Terminator.
He's
Okay.
trying to
Yeah, he
improv
didn't quite
skillets.
make it all the way. He
Well,
came halfway back.
as we're waiting on this, we let Sebastian figure out what Sebastian's going on with. It is 9:30, so we will quickly go on a break, and we will be right back after a 5-minute break. So everyone can go get a drink, go to the bathroom, all that jazz, and we will see you back here in 5 minutes.
Can you hear me now?
You.
trauma.
Let's go.
Welcome back, everybody, to State of Anarchy, where we give people trauma, lots of trauma, and people are mad that they couldn't ride moths. So, brief recap for anyone. Some of the players managed to make it through to apparently a kind of crossroads. So, where they met apparently a ghost of Crises' past. Found out some stuff, hopefully to traumatize poor living Crisis. And when we left, they had just returned, finding themselves standing in the ruins of a shrine. After finding some weird symbols and things like this, Breeze was given a gift by the assassin Crisis, ex-assassin Crisis, basically telling her to give him hell. So, don't know. Weird mum vibes.
Hot mum vibes.
It's dangerous to go alone. Take this.
Yes. I think they probably have said back. Sebastian, you have an idea about this more than any of us. Perhaps you could explain to Crisis about what just happened.
We met your wife. We met your wife.
You named yourself after your wife. That's very romantic.
Eternal love that burns eternally.
I know. That's.
What the hell have you guys been smoking?
Nothing. We went to
Sebastian.
a different plane.
Yeah. So, like, Rick, what's your most common drug testing tactics?
Crisis, we met your wife. Well,
It's
your
not
old
entirely
wife.
that crazy.
I'm not married.
You were. Look, it gets a little timey wimey ficky fuckety, but you were married. You died.
You try to name us the Crisis Crew and tell me about a talking shadow. My shadow doesn't talk, and we're not the Crisis Crew. I don't exactly have a lot of stock in your words. Like,
Listen here, little fucker. I've never lied to you.
you
also-
have lied several times.
Yeah, you can't prove it. But also, you have
I
a son
can.
called Coriander.
What?
Yeah, you have a son called like Coriander. He's a god.
Oh my god, don't make me choke on my water. Sorry.
Coriander? Who the fuck is Coriander? I have no idea what you're talking about.
I would like to cast Disguise Self to turn myself into Crisis that we just met. And be like, this is what your wife looks like, and we had a son called Coriander.
If I had a son named Coriander, I would know.
Let me just show the rest of you. This is what
I'm
he's
particularly amused by the fact that no one is stepping in to correct him.
Well, I asked Sebastian twice. I said, Sebastian, I think you know the story better than anybody. Sebastian, please help. Sebastian, talk to him. You'll be the most delicate one of explaining it. And then Sebastian said nothing, and Blake was just like, ah!
Here's all your trauma.
I heard that request once, and then like immediately Breeze and Blake like jumped in to start just blurting everything out. I'm like, okay.
No, I said it just a second ago.
Yeah, I waited for the second attempt before I stepped in.
Well, I didn't hear both attempts then.
Okay, and I also
there you
haven't
go,
said anything in like
Rosewood,
a
a
minute.
picture you haven't seen in a while.
Yeah.
Do you get PTSD? Do you get PTSD? Do you get PTSD?
Stop trying to trigger me or something, asshole! Holy shit! What the fuck?
You also made a promise with some sort of, I don't know, she was the god of the moon, she was a dragon lady. Apparently you were in love, but not in love, not as much as you
But as great as this is, as coherent as you sound, I just think that maybe Sebastian has a little more context. Sebastian, could you perhaps explain it a little more delicately?
Sure.
Are you also tripping out on some weird drugs right now?
So it's moths, isn't it? The gossamer, all of them.
The best
Crisis.
Lucigen.
Yeah.
You said you don't remember who you are or what you're supposed to be doing.
I have a vague idea of what I think I'm doing, but it's more of a self-guided kind of thing, you know. But yeah, I have no fucking idea who I am.
How could you forget all this? And I motion to my own self as your wife.
Does
stop
seeing Crisis like do anything
I
to
don't.
Crisis?
As I keep saying to you in these situations, I don't know. Does it do anything to you? It's your character,
Uh,
man.
I mean, you're a very pretty lady, yeah, but
Oh, he thinks I'm pretty.
I mean, incredibly so, yes, but
Oh my god!
I
Sebastian's gonna put
think
his whole face into Blake's face and push him away, and then take Crisis aside.
oh, okay. See, the reason I don't believe I'm married to that woman is because the woman is way out of my league.
Oh.
That's fair. I don't know how you looked in previous iterations, but she clearly was smitten with something. And I wouldn't put yourself down, mate. You look solid 7 out of 10.
Rox would bump you up to a
Thanks.
9.
I glance over at Hasa, who's glittering like muscly in the moonlight.
Oh, House is looking mighty fine.
Oh yeah, Haas has got like
And-
glowing, a glowing lattice work of like vines and stuff all over his skin.
Oh, let's go float with House, please.
So you guys only heard stuff about me, apparently.
Yeah, it was very Crisis centric.
So, a little while ago, and by a
Uh-huh.
little while ago, I mean a whole last night, we had a very brief discussion about your problems, and
Yeah.
you have a standard of what I identified at the time as some god called Karada.
Yeah.
In the meantime, I have learned that Karada is the child of a woman that Blake is currently taking the form of, named Crisis, who was married to a man named Roland. This man, Roland, lived apparently his last iteration 1,000 years ago, but has been around for 15,000 in various forms and timelines. As Crisis, the other Crisis, put it. Apparently, you, Crisis, are a reincarnation, or at least another iteration of this Roland, who, despite his best efforts, can't seem to enter death, and instead is perpetually chained to some purpose that stops him from moving on, of which even your wife didn't know the exact reason of.
Okay. I'm following. I don't believe you, but yeah, I'm following.
That's fine. I'm not giving him those details. Do you happen to have any pacts with a moon goddess by the name of Shaylun?
No, not that I can think of. I mean, the most connected I am to the moon is sometimes I glow in the moonlight. Depends on the moon phase, though.
Right.
In fact, am I
Well,
glowing right now?
To my recollection, there is only 2 moon phases you glow during. The first is the full moon because of Shaylone. The second is the dark of the moon because of
Yes.
a long time ago, a connection to Styric, the god of the dark of the moon.
Oh, Breeze also glows in the moonlight.
Everybody glows in the
no,
moonlight.
no.
We're all a glowing party.
Yeah,
Oh,
no,
okay, okay.
it is perfectly normal if Breeze is
Yeah,
saying that.
I was gonna.
No, no,
gonna
no.
say,
She was. I was being him. I was being like, oh, sometimes just glow in the
okay,
moonlight.
so
That's
sorry.
all right. No, I do not glow in the moonlight.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, I don't particularly like worship Selene, but
Well, that's about everything we learned. There's apparently a couple people you can talk to or things you can do, but
oh
we'll put off the things you can do. But
yeah,
there's
I got other things I gotta do.
yes, and I don't think you want to go through those processes. But there is a man named Marshall, perhaps in the Winter Court, who might be able to shed some more light, or gestures his head over to Hasa. Hasa's great grandfather, Farouk, apparently knew Roland personally. So,
Hey, Crisis, do you know how to read now?
What? Fuck off. Yes, I do.
Your wife said you never learned how to read. Actually, no, she said a dog taught you. You learned to read off a dog.
don't mind him. I know this is a lot to take in at once, but well, you'll need some time to absorb this before we go any deeper.
Yeah, I still think y'all are high as a kite right now, but okay.
That's all right.
Yeah, when we get high, we. Oh, sorry, I'm not even there. Because you're off in the court. You took him just to the side, right?
Yeah, just aside.
Okay, I won't say anything.
Right, well.
Well,
Okay.
But when we're high,
yeah.
we
Did-
dream about
did-
him specifically.
Did this Crisis say anything about what Roland did?
Dumb shit, mostly. Sorry, I've got good ears.
I mean, he's not wrong, though.
Talking to you,
have...
and you just keep on saying things like out of the conversation. I'm like, what are you talking about?
Look, they may have moved to the edge of the clearing, but I can still hear every word clearly.
It's rude. They're having a private conversation. Let's go flirt with Hasa.
Alright, back to flirting with Hasa. So, big boy, you come here often?
Meanwhile,
Yeah,
back with the
no.
conversation with Crisis and Mr. Sebastian and Rick.
Okay. So apparently he did dumb shit. But Blake does dumb shits, so that's not exactly a unique qualifier.
Are you buying into this?
No, God no. I still think they're blazed as some kind of hell. They are so wasted right now, it made them sober. I'm genuinely impressed by how much they managed to come up with in like the 20 minutes they were gone.
As I said, you don't have to accept all this at once. And when you want to learn more, or need to, and once we are a bit more familiar with one another, I'll see what I can do to help.
Right.
You gentlemen were hanging out at this decrepit temple.
Waiting for you lot to get back.
Yes, I believe we were seeing a alternate version of this temple. A bit more, less decrepit, more giant lantern.
Giant lantern.
Yes, apparently a series of lighthouses, as it were, that exist in some other plane.
Why is Blake throwing Hasa a book?
He took notes.
Notes of what?
Ignore us. Continue your conversation.
Of some symbols he saw at the lighthouse. If you'd
And
like to
And I
look
took
over
notes on
his
what your
shoulder.
wife said.
If you'd like to look over his shoulder.
So, you stroll on over. Meanwhile, Breeze, Hasa, Blake. Hasa, Blake tosses you a book. It's a small leather-bound journal that he has done some quick sketches in. Looks vaguely like a turtle, but at least, you know, he has tried to sketch the symbols accurately.
So, what's it say?
Do I recognize any of this?
Turtles have a lot of prevalence to your people. The symbols themselves, not really. Even for your people, these are not familiar symbols. They're not referencing any gods that you know of or anything like this. You haven't seen anything kind of like this. But turtles have a big significance.
I mean, the turtle is pretty significant where I come from, but I have no idea what any of this other stuff is.
Yeah, I was really hoping you would know. You're sort of the smartest guy I know, so...
You must not know many people then.
Okay, well, you're my favourite smart guy then, if you have to get real political about my answers.
Well, thank you. I mean, I'm sure there are likely others. The runes... I'm sorry, I don't really know anything about that.
Crisis? Do you recognize this? Also, Hasa, can we admire how fucking banging Crisis's wife is?
Sure, she's...
Yeah. Let me come take a look at that symbol, and I will.
What, you still look like her?
Blake.
Oh, God.
Oh, I've got
Yeah.
an hour of this, baby.
Yeah, no, I assumed that Blake wouldn't drop this until it ended itself.
Fuck.
Oh,
I
no.
will go up to Blake and attempt to punch him in the nose.
Can I give him my DM as inspiration for this round?
You know what?
Yes.
Sure. I will
Please
allow
roll
it.
that.
You would hit your wife.
Bardic inspiration on top of it.
Dude! She
mean,
Yeah,
literally,
I don't say you've got this. No, but if
Like,
it's DM's inspiration, you can roll it again.
Uzu, she literally said that when she first met him, she tried to stab him.
Alright, I guess I'm gonna have to stab him.
Quick, May, give him your knife.
Yes, I will allow you to gift Crisis your DM inspiration if you would like to.
You
So
really,
I just rolled again.
Yeah. With guidance, apparently.
Okay.
There we go.
With
Roll a
guidance.
d4.
Roll a d4.
Although technically guidance doesn't count for attack rolls, but yeah.
And I'm
Does
aiming for his nose.
Does a 17 hit you, Blake?
What am I meant to be looking at?
Your AC.
Just. Literally just.
Yep, meets or beats. Roll damage for the fist. He clocks you. Blake, Crisis walks up. Crisis saunters up to you and bops you in the nose. You take 4 points of damage. Bludgeoning damage.
Huh.
What
Alright.
the fuck was that for?
I don't think that woman's my wife, but you talk more fucking respectfully about her, you little shit.
She is your wife, and she told me specifically to give you shit.
You're still high.
No, I'm not. My nose
I
is
think you
fucking crooked butt.
You feel a slight twinge of pain in your arm, Blake, and you look down and see a tiny little needle in your arm. You feel better though.
Yeah, your nose feels a bit better as it stops bleeding quickly.
It shoved up his ass.
You are such an angry little man. What does she see in you? I really wish the dog hadn't taught you how to fucking read now.
What?
It's a dick.
What dog? Where? Whatever.
I don't know, Blake. You talk shit, you get hit.
Crisis, there's a certain point where even Blake probably reaches the end of where they're joking. I wasn't there, but I feel like this is the point where we start to, take them at their word.
Oh, lucky that I told your wife that we would look after your stupid fucking ass. I'd hit you back.
Not my wife.
Yes, your wife. Where do you think you got your name?
Because I woke up in the middle of a fucking ruined temple. Why? No, I'm not having this conversation.
So what, it was just a coinky dink that you happened to pick the name of your dead wife?
Or y'all went in there with Sebastian, who knew the story that I had told him that before, got high together, Sebastian told you the story, and y'all shared a hallucination, or y'all told a story, or something. I don't know. But
Your
no.
wife said there was no such thing as coincidences. You really think for one moment that I would come here and bullshit you with one story? Also, where would I have got this startling self-image that I have now?
You could have literally met any tiefling.
You are such a hard man to please.
Not Crisis
Like,
admitting all tieflings
Stop
look the
pushing
same.
this. This is a lot to have dumped on him at once.
It doesn't mean he needs to lash out, the fucking dick.
Well,
I'm lashing out because you're saying a lot of shit about this lady who I don't even know. You talk more fucking respectfully about her.
Oh, you know what?
Assuming Crisis is
Now there's
the
two of us.
incarnation of
Now there's
Roland,
fucking two of us.
then it makes sense that underneath he would very much dislike you talking about his wife that way.
Yeah, that's another thing. If Crisis has genuinely forgotten part of his previous lives, like you're saying, maybe his subconscious still remembers the respect and love that he has, and that part is what's causing the lash out.
Yes, literally what I just said.
I know I'm seconding what you're saying.
For the reference,
I'm going...
for the reference as well here,
Oh,
if I remember correctly,
Okay.
sorry, for the reference here, I'm pretty sure Roland was 5'10" and Crisis was like 6'2".
Correct.
Yes. Yes. Cool. Just making sure that's clarified because I don't think I stated her height because she's quite tall. So
Blake punching self.
Apparently so.
I mean, it's got a range of self, so...
I'd like to point out that's Crisis in the back of the head with the second.
okay, back to where you were, Crisis. Sorry to interrupt you.
Well, I mean, he just hit me. Yeah, 24 hits.
Roll damage.
What am I rolling for damage?
You should just be able
You
to
just
click
click on the word
strike.
unarmed.
Oh. Beep boop.
Why is there fire?
Because
Once it's done,
when
they're not on fire at the moment.
Yeah.
Relax.
when he activates his fire, he gets fire fist. But yeah, no, you take 6 bludgeoning as he bops you in the back of the head.
I'm not fucking with you here, Crisis. We really met other Crisis, and she said, A, you're like reincarnated. B, that I can fuck with you. And C, that you're gonna do dumb shit, and you just proved that by punching me in the fucking nose while I'm trying to tell you the truth.
So this woman who I've never met is telling you can fuck with me, and that's your excuse to do dumb shit like say this to me.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right, I'm going back to the car. Fuck all y'all. Come bother me when you have less dumb shit to say. I'm gonna rub the back of my head and the new pinprick I got from Hasa healing me, and I will go climb into the car.
Hasa's just like, I'm gonna run out of fucking syringes at this point.
What is everybody in this group fucking 5?
Rick Crisis clambers into the.
He punched me first.
I don't care who punched it first. I'm finishing it here.
It's already finished.
You
It was
provoked
already-
him,
it was too
and
much.
you should have expected that that's what you would have gotten.
Well, hold on a sec. Unless we're having entirely different conversations, I don't remember any provocation.
Provoke him. We said, stop, let Sebastian explain. This is too much information. You're looking like his dead wife. And then you're talking about how hot she is. It's not
Do you not think she
any
was
part
hot?
of him. Yes, she was fucking gorgeous and she was in love with me, clearly. But I'm not going to tell him that. Because a part of him will remember that and be upset. It's about having tact.
We're all big boys here, and you big girl. Like, what's the point of venturing together if we're not going to tell him the hard truth? Why would we sugarcoat this for him?
It's not about
There's-
sugarcoating. There's a time and a place.
There's sugarcoating, and then there's immediately popping out and attempting to trigger his PTSD while making fun of him and making untoward comments about what you know to be his wife, and then acting surprised when he has a reaction when you try to provoke a reaction.
Well, she said she didn't know what would provoke his memory. I'm just trying to speed things along. We don't have all day.
That's not your place, Blake.
Fuck this. I wander off to the moths. I'm going back to Sir Bugsington, giving him the other berry. Both of me's. We're both leaving. Me and the posse of hot demon girls are out of here.
Hang on, I'd like to walk over to Rick, kneel down, and put a hand on his shoulder. Thank you, Rick, for being the only mature one here.
Ouch.
Yeah, I was gonna say, all you hear is just.
I know.
Do anything wrong.
What? That's what I say. Also, while I'm rolling that, May, yourself, like, Brazen Hasa had a sulk fest the entirety of last session. What are you talking about?
What? I was mature about the whole crisis thing. I didn't go up. I was like, hey, let's treat it delicately.
It's the same day. It's been a day.
And it wasn't a sulk fest. That was a good reason to be upset with somebody for not helping Crisis again. I'm on Crisis' side.
I know,
all the
I know,
time.
but you guys are like bicker, like
Whatever.
Sebastian's just driving the car. and
Breeze
everybody's
is
bickering
petting
with
her
children.
moth, whatever, and she's gonna sleep next to it. And then bye. Bye.
Okay. So, Sebastian, as you walk over to the vehicle and you lay a hand on Rick's shoulder to say some words to
Very
the-
sarcastically.
the sleeping Raken, you notice that Crisis, who was sitting there quite pissed off, you were getting this aura off of him that he was very frustrated and confused and angry. And then you see a moment as he exhales. You watch him square his shoulders and a calm demeanor comes over him as where his hands were on his legs in the car, you just see a slight mist of frost creep out from his hands as you very briefly catch a moment as his eyes, which are normally quite pale blue, just flash black for a moment before he blinks slowly and looks directly at you.
Sebastian's looking.
This moment of crisis. Oh God, what is going on in chat? Jesus Christ. Enough with the lizards!
You don't seem to be the worst one here. But you're not exactly a good one.
You're incredibly familiar, but different somehow.
Well, I would hope I'm not familiar.
Really?
Well, yes.
And who, pray tell, are you?
Not Crisis. But... And he'll kind of wiggle his fingers around. But yes. You can call me Harkoni.
Can I get spelling on that?
Arkoni.
Well then. Hi, Harkoni. I'm not familiar to you beyond what you've been
No,
seeing
you
through
are.
Crisis.
Yes, through what I've been seeing.
Yes.
He's been having a hard time of it lately, but certainly he's trying his best.
Indeed. And I was
We
correct.
all
All
are.
he needed was some time to process.
Oh, no. No, your friend just hit him on the head in the right spot, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Normally, this whole thing isn't exactly supposed to work this way, but I wouldn't exactly be the expert at that with what I normally do. So,
So you're a, let's say, outer planar entity that has latched on to Crisis, onto his
no.
soul?
Well, you're closer than you think you are, but you're also wider off the mark than you would expect.
Mm-hmm. Well, I don't suppose you can give me your life story right now.
Oh, absolutely not. I'm in the same boat as Crisis. I don't remember. Well, I think I choose not to remember, which is a problem because I have things I want to do, but it's hard being, multiple souls shunted into one form. So, we make do. We don't exactly share because Crisis is at the wheel, but we try our best.
Yeah, I get that.
But you, out of all the people here, I mean, certainly we all like Breeze. She's very strong-headed, very brave. Rick got a sense of duty. Hasa is quite the reminder of someone we used to know, and Blake is Blake. But you remind me most of myself. And I think I messed up.
Well, messed up on your choice of host.
No. There was never a choice, you know. We were always going to stick together. It's what we would do, I think. But I did something, I think. Or something happened, and then I did something. Or I did something, then something happened. Point being, um, different timelines, same events. Same events, same tragedies. But I don't remember the tragedy.
Uh-huh.
Are you kind of in that situation?
I've had tragedies, but I know my tragedies.
Well, it's not that you don't know them. I wouldn't expect that, but how can we truly know you without knowing you? I don't know myself, and I would give up a lot for that. But you, I, you can learn a lot about a person through their eyes, and yet you try so hard to hide yours. Why is that?
Well, nobody else is around, right, Boo?
I don't believe anybody else is around. They're off, chatting amongst themselves, turning into foxes and things like this. But you've gotten all whispery and conspiratorial over in the car.
Yes. Sebastian will take off his sunglasses before Harkoni to reveal the eyes and the black veins that protrude from them with the swirling cosmos and void within them.
Seeing Sebastian's eyes, Arconi will grab your face and kind of bring you closer and rub your thumbs over the veins and just kind of feel your face.
Sebastian remains cool about that, but he's very obviously on edge. Like it's kind of like that small gap between complete serenity and about to try to tear off your face kind of deal.
You're just like me. I had these veins once, and I had a different name. Blackheart. Harkoni Blackheart. What is your name?
Sebastian will push off Harkoni's hands. My name is Sebastian. I am nothing like you.
For your benefit and your sake, I hope so. I made mistakes. Don't. I would say don't blindly rush, but you're the type to be blind, now are you? No, I think you're much more than that.
I've already made my mistakes. And I'm going to fix them. Irrespective of things like you.
I'm not here to harm Crisis or to steal a body or anything like that. I died a time ago, and I've come to peace with that. We all have come to peace with that. But please tell Blake Crisis is sorry. He's scared and angry a lot. In a way, he's too angry to die.
Yeah, I'll let him know.
Why?
And the moment is broken.
Sebastian's gonna put his sunglasses back on.
As the moment breaks, Crisis falls forward onto the steering wheel, headfirst onto the horn.
Terrifying,
I'll push him
everybody.
off it.
Remember I'm fucking with my car?
Rick, the horn, the abrupt sound of the horn does wake you up.
What the hell's happening?
Nothing. Crisis has decided to take a little nap.
On the horn. Jeez.
A long day. I know you're not particularly large. I don't suppose you could load him into the back while I grab the others.
I can try.
As you say that, Sebastian, you turn and you notice that for whatever reason, the others have settled down on the ground and seem to be asleep. I mean, Blake is still sitting up playing rock, paper, scissors with the body double of Crisis, but at least Breeze seems to be asleep on the ground.
Haas is not asleep?
No, Haas is just milling around the general campsite area.
This isn't the camp. We're not at the campsite.
Yeah, you're not
we're
at the camp.
temple.
Yeah.
At the
I thought we were
temple
the
area.
I thought we were the guy.
You're at the ruins. I just
Yeah, I'm gonna.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah,
I'm
she's
gonna,
fucking-
I'm
shut
gonna
it up.
gesture. I'm gonna gesture for everybody who's awake to get in the fucking car, and I'm gonna walk over to Breeze, who's snuggling with a moth.
Yes.
Yes. Like
I think this
a weird fuzzy squishmallow.
Jesus, Rick Strong.
How deeply asleep does Breeze appear to be?
Her face buried in the moth, like fuzziness. Like
She's gonna pull her face out and have it covered in glitter.
All right,
much
Sebastian's gonna gently pick up Breeze to carry her to the car and put her in a seat. And
So the
Let's
moths
go.
are protected.
wait, you
or
know,
not?
is
No,
he not coming with me? Is he not
you're,
following me?
you're holding on to the moth.
I wake up.
You're holding on to the moth.
I was gonna say it's like 10 feet wide or something, didn't you say?
Yeah, but it can
It's
Oh,
basically
holding
a
on.
body pillow.
Yeah.
all right,
It's
Okay,
a moth-shaped body pillow.
I can wake up, right?
Okay, as Sebastian goes to pick you up, Breeze, you do stir. As Hasa, you watch as the small form of Rick gets out of the car, comes around, and somehow just complete fireman lifts Crisis on his shoulders and shoves him into the back of the car.
Rick is strong boy.
Yeah, he
Alright,
even manages to open the back door one-handed.
Nice.
So he's like balancing Crisis like on his shoulder as he's
Yep.
like just doing it. He's like a mum with a like giant toddler.
Yep.
Nice.
The whole time going, this freaking getting back there.
Oh, fucking babysitter.
Rack 'em.
I'm asleep, sleeping.
I'm gonna take out some of the over-ripened berries and just sort of like Hansel Gretel breadcrumb trail and try and lead the moths to the car.
Kidnap the moth.
I mean, the moths aren't like stupid. I was gonna ask them to come along as
Oh,
well.
no. Don't assume the moths aren't stupid. They've got an intelligence of 4. You could literally
That's-
ask them to follow you.
That's above and yeah, that's pretty good.
All right, yeah. In that case, he'll hold out the berries and try and convince them to come with him.
Is the one that talks psychically the one that Breeze is currently
Yes.
hugging?
Yes.
Breeze has got the alpha.
All right, I'll psychically
We're
talk
not
with
making this
the
into an Omegaverse.
with the psychic one to say that, hey, we're moving to the campsite. If you want to come with, you can come with, and I'm sure Breeze would love your company. But with Breeze waking up, Breeze, we're not at the camp.
No, I know. I knew that. It's just everybody was talking a lot, and so I thought I'd just take a quick lie down.
We've lost Crisis.
You just fed up.
Well, good timing for it, because we're nearly at the end, but
Yep.
Breeze, we're just gonna just load up in the car, get back to the campsite.
Okay, yeah.
30-second drive, and they can come with.
I pet my moth, and I'm just like, yeah.
As you're holding your moth, Breeze, and you walk back to the car, over your shoulder, unbeknownst to you, the moth you are holding is looking at Sebastian. And if you could see little mothy features, it is giving Sebastian a glare.
Pink eye.
Side eye.
Sorry, am I taking your girlfriend, moth? Ooh. What you gonna do about it?
You see one of his little legs kind of like point at its eyes and point at you. And as you climb into the car to drive, I'm assuming back to the campsite for the rest of the evening.
To the campsite, yeah.
Back to the campsite.
And you settle down for the evening to get...
Why did we drive here? This was a 10-minute walk.
You drive back to the 2 minutes back to the campsite, reset yourself up, resettle yourselves, and you set up a watch to sleep uneventfully through the night. And that is where we'll end this session this week. So we will we will start
interrupt that. I have stuff I want to do before we finish our long rest.
Let me know over the week. Yeah, let me know over the course of the week, and we'll figure it out, and so that we can start next session from. You wake up in the morning and get in the car and drive, and yeah, let me know what you want to do.
It's like full on talking with people.
Yeah, so let's not do that now then.
Yeah, let's definitely not do that now. We'll do that start of next session then, before everyone has a.
This felt like a really quite impactful moment, right? This felt like a lot of stuff happened. Like it felt like almost like really plot heavy. Like we've reached sort of a milestone of sorts.
Do not start. Do not start with me, May. Do not start with me. You have one simple instruction.
I'm just commenting. I was just commenting on the session. I was just commenting on how good the session was. Like it just felt really impactful.
Yeah. One might say very progressive, and you know we got places, we learned things.
Exactly.
And like world altering, life changing, like very wow. Like
so.
Unironically, this felt like a level up session. Actually,
to everybody, we'll see. You have one simple thing for this particular first level up, and then nothing after this, which is get to the lake. That's it. Get to the chopper. You know.
Everyone roll persuasion.
With that, Hasa, no. However, we will jump in next session so people can have a bit of a chat and things like that. But hopefully, we will get to the lake next session. Looking at fucking Breeze. With her moth. If you were
the one who put the moths at the campsite, and then you made it go to a portal in another world. You could have just had them do nothing. It's not my fault.
I could have. But anyway, I hope everyone enjoyed themselves. I hope you really enjoyed where this story is going and seeing where this story is going. Next week, I believe Rosewood will not be with us as they have some life things going on, which is good. We'll see how that goes. But otherwise, I hope you are
disappointed.
It's a very moving story.
Yes. I hope you, if you enjoyed this and you want to catch up on it later, it will be up on my YouTube channel within the next few days. Otherwise, you can join us back here next Saturday to continue with the story. Check out every one of the wonderful people who stream. From their names and things like that. Otherwise, I hope you drink plenty of water, get plenty of rest, look after yourself, and I hope you have a wonderful morning, afternoon, evening, or night, wherever you are in the world, and we will see you all next time. Bye, guys.